All right, Lumberjacks. Got a little bit of a different stream here for you guys tonight. I really did want to stream tonight, my normal Forestry Friday, but I fell asleep. So, um, 1 second here. Let me pull up the stream. That way. So, um, all right. So yeah, I figured that I would just do a stream. I'm working on my map, Mountains of Isolation, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably familiar with. Um, I did get it converted over to FS25. So yeah, I figured that and I guess shout out to JMD for helping with that. And yeah, so I'm just kind of working on it, updating a little bit. Um, See if I can multitask here because usually I'm pretty bad at working on my map and talking at the same time. So if I do pause briefly, I do apologize. But yeah, so pretty much I'm just going through and I had to update the textures on the mountain. I'm redoing the textures on the ground and just a few other miscellaneous stuff. So yeah, redoing the road right now. Now, one of the things that a lot of people have mentioned about this map is they don't like that the roads aren't very well marked. I mean, that's kind of the whole point behind the map. It's supposed to be where it's kind of like forgotten about, but I can definitely go in and make some small changes to that. I don't want it to be too open. I still want it to have that, you know, middle of nowhere feel, if you will. But I will kind of make the roads more prominent and also we're gonna move some of the trees around. But yeah, so JMD converted this map over for me, and as soon as he converted it, it worked perfectly fine. As far as like end game and whatnot, but I was having issues with the terrain deforming too much. And listen, I tried everything to get it to fix. So like in FS25, whenever your tires are on the ground, it deforms the ground just a little bit, so like the terrain deformation or whatever, which is fine, but it was just too much. So, like I said, I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked, couldn't figure it out. So finally, I messaged Gamer Designs. He's like, "Oh yeah, you just have to go in and change this number from 0.04 to 0.01, and that literally fixed it." Like I had almost kind of just given up on trying to figure out what it was just because it was frustrating me. But so now that that is working, I am going through and making some small changes. It's still going to feel like Mountains of Isolation, kind of the rugged, like in the middle of nowhere type feel. Um, Still has all the trees, have it change the trees. Still has, I think, 36,000 trees. Hold on. Scripts, shared map, trees. Yeah, 36,874 trees, which is a good bit. But so yeah, I'm gonna move some of these trees around a little bit so they're not. I mean, honestly, they're not too bad. I guess there is a group here that's kind of moved around a little bit. So maybe I'll just kind of move them around a little bit, kind of open it up, and then make it a lot easier to get through. I don't really want to take any of the trees out. I guess I could probably get rid of a couple. Let's move this one off to the side here. And let's just pick random trees here. Because like I said, I don't really want to get rid of any of the trees. If the map is having performance issues, then yeah, I would definitely remove some trees, but it seems to run pretty well. At least I've never had any issues with it. I'm just gonna move this one here, kind of open this up a little bit. What do we got here? We could probably move this one, I guess right there. Have a big group. Oops. This one, we're just gonna move right there. I kind of open that up just a little bit. Oh. All right. That should be fine for now. I might fine tune them a little bit more later, but I want to get the terrain painted here. Before, if I remember correctly, hold on here. It was painted with, was it? No, it wasn't that one. It was a custom texture that I did. Nope, wasn't that one. Rock Dark. Wasn't that one. Mud. I forget which one it was. It was, okay, I guess it was this texture at the base. It was kind of like a rock and stone, or rock and mud, dirt type deal. But I actually think I'm going to either go with a gravel or a dirt, like a mixture of the two. Gravel dust. Path of gravel. Well, you know what? That doesn't look too bad. Because I'm going to end up repainting this grass like a forest color almost. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, so we're using pathway gravel. Let's go to forest ground. See how that looks compared to that. And let's turn the trees back on. Yeah, you really can't even tell that it's darker. You know, now that I got the trees turned on here, I don't know if I like the gravel. And I could, well, I honestly, I could do it a couple ways. I can go in and, you know, I could do a base layer of that and then just kind of scatter that out. But it kind of looks like crap that way. Or I could go in and make a custom texture. I think what I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to use riverbed. I'm going to try for like a dirt. Maybe. Or, oh shoot, I don't know. Dirt 4, what's dirt 4 look like? I do definitely want mixture. Riverbed 3. Okay, so maybe what I'll do, that doesn't look half bad. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do a base layer of dirt and then I'll paint over top with this riverbed because it's kind of like a muddy stone type deal. And of course, um, whoever's planned the map could honestly go back in and just paint over it however they want. So we're gonna go set this to dirt. We'll do a nice dirt layer on the bottom, and then we'll go back over with like a gravel on top. Could make it a custom texture if I wanted to. Actually, you know what? Maybe I will. Combine layers, add combine layer. Name this will be dirt, gravel, first layer. Oh, okay. I was like, do I have to type it in, or can I just do it this way? Let's do dirt 1. Let's do gravel 1. Dirt 1. I don't know how this is going to look, so I'll have to test it. Apply. So now if we go to dirt gravel. See, I don't like how that looks. Okay. Let's do. Oh, no wonder. Is there just a gravel? Yeah, there it is. Gravel 1, dirt 1, gravel. That's probably why it was kind of off a little bit, because it was set on gravel dirt. Gravel dust. Okay. Like how that looks. You know what? I'm just gonna do it the way it was. Sure, if I mess with it enough, I could probably get it how I want, but I am literally just gonna do it this way. I feel like it's quicker. So yeah, definitely excited to be able to have this map on FS25. I haven't decided. Actually, yeah, I am gonna release this. And if you're a Patreon member, you'll get access to it first. And actually, I released the, I guess, beta version or whatever you want to call it last night. So that was after I fixed the ground deformation. I just kind of threw it out there. So yeah, if you are a Patreon member, you will get access, like I guess early access to any of my projects, whether it's map edits or the Tiger Cat Yarder whenever I finish it. So yeah, this map will be released publicly, hopefully here soon. Maybe by this weekend it should be done. Don't really have that much to do. Let's see, let's paint this back. And if you guys have never played on Mountains of Isolation, actually, no, I lied. It wasn't out. Yeah, it was originally made for FS19, and then I converted it over to 22, and then now it's for 25. So it's been out for a couple years now. And if you guys have never played it, basically the thought process behind Mountains of Isolation was I was tired of not having any decent login maps, challenging login maps on FS19, so I set out to make my own. And I will say that the first version of it was very rough, and a lot of people said the same. Actually, you know what? Let's shrink this down a little bit. A lot of people said the same thing because, like, the first version of it for FS19, all the trees were the same. Like, it was, yeah, it was pretty bad. If you know, you know. It was pretty bad, but I have come a long way and have made a lot of changes. And, you know, oops. Not a lot of people really talk about Mountains of Isolations, at least not that I'm aware of. I have gotten some feedback over the years about the map, and you know, for the most part, everybody likes it. But how it's brought up is more or less just kind of random, like, oh hey, you know, I played your map the other day, I really liked it. And then of course I always ask, you know, what do they like versus what they don't like and all that stuff. And actually, one of my Patreon members recommended that I add some more roads just because it's kind of hard to navigate around the map without knowing where you're going, which, you know, granted, I give that to him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So that is one of the changes that I made was, or I'm going to make, is just kind of highlighting the roads a little better so you guys know where you're going, because it is a very big map, very challenging, lots of hills. It's definitely one of my favorites, not being biased or anything. It's just really, especially for 25, there's just not a lot of good maps out there right now. Yeah, and then this section back here, I'm gonna kind of leave a little rough. Not gonna get too crazy. Of course, you know, in game you can always repaint this to whatever texture, whatever you decide to go with. Probably go through and kind of clean up the edges a little bit here because looking kind of rough. All right, cool. Let's save. So yeah, just small little changes that I'm doing. Okay, so put this on forest ground. We're gonna limit it to grass. Actually, no, we're going to turn that off. Fix these edges up a little bit, and then we'll do the forest ground. Yeah, so I'm going to change like the green grass texture to a forest ground. See how that looks. this road look a little rough. It's one thing I don't like about Giants Editor, or I guess Farm Sim, is unless you are going straight, like in a straight line, you can't have, um, it doesn't like curves very much. Even though it's in a circle right now, like you'll see when I go around. Oh, where's the bend at? You'll see when I go around this bend, instead of having like a smooth edge, it's gonna give it like a square. Like if I keep this in the same spot, it does kind of have a rough edge, but it does it in squares. It's really strange. Let's get it to there. I'm not gonna get too crazy about this. I know it looks rough, but actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's clean this grass up on the side real quick here, so I can actually see what I'm painting. I might just go through and repaint this real quick. Should have done this from the get-go, but you know, that's fine. So hopefully everybody is having a good Friday so far, or so far. Hopefully everybody's week has gone good, and hopefully everybody's having a good Friday. Oh shoot, I forgot I'm supposed to do something here at 9. But anyways, let me check on something here. I'm part of a 5M server, and a city is launching tonight, and I'm supposed to be there because I'm one of the business owners. Okay, apparently the server is down, so we are gonna keep working on this. So I'm gonna go. Shoot. I'm gonna go through. What is going on there? Why did that not? Try to make a straighter road here. So yeah, even though I'm taking my cursor and just going straight, you can kind of see how some of the edges are jagged if there's like a slight turn. If you're in a straight stretch, it doesn't do that. This is one of those things where, like, if you had really bad arthritis in your hands, this would suck. It's a lot of clicking and moving around and scrolling. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through and kind of repaint some of these edges, and then when I paint the grass back on, it'll kind of hide some of the ugly, if you will. It's like when you finish concrete, you know, you can do like a real rough finish, or, you know, kind of roughish, nice finish. And then when you put the broom on it, it really hides a lot of the imperfections. And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing here. But I'm also very picky when it comes to details, like on my map or on a mod or something like that. Like, I'll pick out things that, you know, most people don't notice. And that doesn't look bad. Let's go back to our grass. Peel this away. Yeah, it got really rough through here. No change. Just delete all that. I also know you guys are probably looking at this and noticing that there's a few rough spots, like here and just kind of scattered throughout. I will go through and fix those. And oh, there's another good example. Some of it I'm going to leave because it kind of gives the map a little character, but it happened from it being converted. I don't know why or how it did it, but a lot of it was from the conversion. And I don't want to get too crazy with the terrain because then I have to go through and move the trees back down to the surface, which when I converted my map from FS19 to 22, I probably spent a good solid 2 weeks going through and fixing trees that were floating. Trees that I didn't even notice on FS19 when I was building the map. Like, I didn't even think to look. So, yeah. Kind of like, I get PTSD when I see a floating tree. So I'm not going to really mess with the terrain, or I guess if I know a spot's really bad, go ahead and fix it real quick and then adjust the trees. But yeah, like areas like this, I'm going to leave because that's just not that I don't want to fix it. It's just, you know, the whole premise of the map is rugged and forgotten about, not taken care of. All right, that should be all right. All right. Save this. Switch this to foliage. We're gonna put this on grass. Harvest ready. Why is that not? Shoot. Limit to grass. There we go. Why is that not? That's weird. Fix our road up here. Wait, is this grass? Or is it meadow? And oh, that's right. I don't know what texture it is. That's weird. Harvest ready. Which one is this? Echo foliage. It's not that. Not that. There we go. Grass medium. Okay, so it's grass medium. So we're gonna limit this to grass or deco foliage, grass medium, and then we're gonna change. What do I want to do here? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to make it to where I don't have to repaint the whole freaking all these bushes in again. Because that's annoying. Why is that not working? Grass. What if we do grass small? That changes that. Okay, cool. So what I'll do is I'll go up above the map here, set this to 3000, do a real quick save. So I'm going to change the grass type to a different length or type. We're going to put square. So right now it should only paint on if the texture is grass and the foliage is the cut medium, and we're doing the cut small. So it's going to change all that only if it has those, only if it meets that criteria. Okay, so now, and all, yeah, so all the bushes that I placed down should still be there. Everything with the green grass texture should be changed. So now if I wanted to change it back and wanted to do grass medium, which I think I will. Or if I want to do cut grass. Grass small. There we go. Actually, maybe I'll do. Oops. Meadow. Arbitrary. That's a lot of extra green to it. I don't know if I like that. See what it looks like with the trees visible. Okay, that doesn't look so bad. With the trees kind of helping to yeah. So same thing again. Do it up here. Set this to 3000, which is more than, oh crap. Which is more than enough for this. Hopefully it doesn't crash. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the paint. I'm going to change it from a grass to a forest ground. We're going to limit it to grass. Set this to 3000. Put this on square. Now you guys should see the texture go from like a greenish to a forest, just like that. Okay. So it has green, it has the forest color. It does kind of give it a different vibe, like it's dead, but the grass is still growing. I don't know. Let's turn the trees back on. You can't even really tell. Because if you're at ground level here. Oh. Yeah. No, that doesn't look too bad. It's like it's dead, but it's growing. If that makes sense. All right. I think I'm gonna update the shop. Oh wait, I need to go back in and oh, I need to add my gravel layer. And then figure out what is going on with these bare spots. Okay, so we're just gonna change it back down. We're gonna put this on gravel. We're gonna limit this to dirt so we don't paint in our grass. Circle. That kind of looks like there's a dirt base layer. I don't think I like that. Trees. Turn this back on real quick, see how this looks. So let's go to our foliage layer again. Turn all this off. Let's see, weeds, limit to dense alive, limit to textured dirt. Oh. State small live. Yeah, maybe we'll just like do some weeds on the road here. Should be the same. Oh wait. I want it to match. Oh, I don't want that. Yeah. Why does it not match the rest of it? Oh well, don't matter. It'll be different. Paint this all back in. I don't know why there's like random spots that don't take or you can't be painted. I could get super fancy with this. I know I've like changed my mind about what I'm doing like 30 times now. I'm just kind of going with the flow, honestly. Just just letting it be how it is. If I don't like it, then or if you guys don't like it, I can go back in and change it. It's not a big deal. I don't know how I like that brown. I might leave it. I think because I'm looking at it from above with no trees, it looks rough. I wonder if I smooth this out. Will it let me paint or put weeds down? No. I'll wait. It's weird. Like only certain sections do. Maybe one of you guys watching might have. Maybe one of you guys watching have the solution. I mean, it's not a super big deal, honestly, because it is kind of annoying though, having all those bare spots. But it's one of those things that I will continue to work on it. This version of it will be uploaded for the Patreon members. Should be, I didn't put a Patreon link in the video description for today, but I think in my last video I did. But it's modern logging if you guys want to check it out. I do have 2 tiers available. Of course, you can find more details about that on the link. Don't want to get too. What is going on? You know what? That's kind of annoying. Let's turn the trees back on. Take a little look. You know, honestly, it's not. Some areas it's not that bad because, you know, in real life there would be bare spots like that in some areas. So, right. Trees. Let's do one quick flyover of our road to the shop. And oh yeah, I wanted to update this. So let's save. I'm gonna make this like a dirt almost. And then we're gonna check it out in game and see what it looks like. So we're gonna change this to, yeah, that's like some cryptic message. I don't want concrete because it doesn't make sense for the map. Gravel moss, it's way too green. Pathway gravel. It's a little lighter. Gravel. I might just make it gravel. Okay. A little bit more that way. I will say that if you are thinking about making a map or editing a map, patience is going to be your best friend. And there's a lot more to it than just going in and making small changes. If you're building a map from scratch, that's definitely more time consuming versus editing a map. Either way, it is kind of nice to have a little bit of knowledge for both, but if you don't know, there's plenty of videos out there, plenty of tutorials that you can check out. I personally don't have one for map making just because it's not something that I feel 100% confident doing, and I don't want to give the wrong information out. But yeah, if you are thinking about doing, then I would definitely look up some videos or just do what I did and start looking into maps and just kind of going into them and picking them apart, see what you need, just kind of go from there. All right. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was gonna do. Let me save this. I'm gonna get a little fancy here with this. So we're gonna turn the trees off. And then so the road's not looking like this per se, we're gonna add some detail to this road. So we're gonna go that, go to meadow. No, it was ground footage. Although that is kind of cool. Huh. I might add that after all. No, don't want that. Big branches. Nope. That's too much. Down. No, I see. I always forget. Grass medium. There we go. I'm gonna get fancy with it here. So some of the road will have grass growing on it. There we go. So it's not just like a bare road. Oh no, is this the wrong one? Shoot. Remix? No. You know what? I'm gonna go for it. I might change it, but for now, I'm gonna go with the two different grass types. Yeah, just gonna go for it. Just kind of fill random spots in without it looking stupid. Uh, no, I am gonna make it what it's supposed to be. Trying to make it look like it's kind of patchy, like it's starting to wants to grow in, or it's starting to. Guess if I really wanted to, I could have turned it on or made it to where it was only painting over this layer that I just put down, but I'll just redo it here. It's not a big deal. Ain't nothing but a thing. Good. There. Save. We're gonna check this out here in a minute. I just gotta finish making these small changes. I know I keep saying that, but I will add a little bit through there. And I want to let me finish painting this. I think what I'm going to do is maybe take like a rock foliage layer and all these dirt spots that are left over, I'm going to fill those in with like a rock foliage. I feel like I just said the same thing like 3 times in a row. Uh, Going at this for about an hour. Made some pretty good progress. I know y'all tune in every now and then. I do appreciate that. Lets me know that I'm not just talking to myself. Although some music would be nice right now. And I don't have access to Epidemic Sounds anymore for royalty-free music, so yeah, you just get to hear my voice, which some people like. You know, I just realized that my phone's been off charging for like the last 2 hours. Hopefully nobody's trying to get a hold of me, because yeah, I have a bad habit of doing that, plugging my phone in after it dies and not turning it back on. All right, I'm really just kind of doing random stuff at this point here, just trying to get this filled in. Just so it's not pure dirt. And what I might do later on is go in and is it like that? Anyways, I might go in later on and kind of paint out some of the roads Possibly. Even though that wasn't my original idea for this. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys, like I mentioned earlier, kind of said that you wish the roads were more defined, which, you know, if that's what you guys want, then I could probably make it happen. It's weird how it's real choppy here. Anyways, um, and then another one of my maps that I actually kind of forget about every now and then, or a map that I kind of think about every now and then, is the modern logging event map, which I spent a long time working on too. I don't think it was as popular as this map, so, but I don't know. I might end up converting it over too, because it is a fun map to kind of test different logging equipment and, you know, just, yeah, have a little competition with your friends and whatnot, or whatever you want to do. I believe, if I remember correctly, there's a hill climb. Um, Hill climb. There's a dirt track. There's a straight stretch for like drag racing. Um, there's a log loading area with like stadium seatings. That part, I don't want to paint on the rock. That part took a while. And then there's a burn section, like the forest caught on fire. I don't really know why I added that. I just thought it'd be cool to have something like that. But it more or less is just kind of a test map, if you will. But like I said, it never really gained popularity, at least not that I'm aware of. But I might end up converting it over to. We shall see. Can I paint this? No. If you're just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Pretty much just working on my map. I was going to do a Forestry Friday, but I was asleep, or I fell asleep after work. And this stream was just kind of like a impromptu, like, hey, I'm going to work on my map. And I was like, you know what? I wonder if people will watch me work on my map. But I am working on Mountains of Isolation for FS25. And I am getting ready to test it out here. All right, cool. Let's turn the trees back on. Save. Oh, all right, save, and then we're gonna save again. I always save like 2 or 3 times, just to be sure. And one more for good luck. Okay. So, was it this one that I just edited? Shoot. Let me open this up again real quick. I have it saved in like 3 different spots on my computer, and I don't know which save this was. And I don't think it updates between the 3 file folders. So, I never checked. Yeah, my mic is on. That would have sucked if I would have been talking for like the last hour and my mic wasn't even on. Oh, that would have been horrible. All right. Yeah, this is the updated. Right. So, and another thing I was trying to do too, and I'm kind of being a little hesitant about, is I really want to go through the file folder, like the different files for this map, and fix it, make it updated for FS25. But if I'm not mistaken, mistaken, there's so many different textures. I think like 1,600 different textures plus. Because, yeah, there's a lot. And it's like, I don't want to start deleting stuff because it's like I don't know what I have, what I don't have, what I do have. So the map works. And, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Or, yeah. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So, let's see what it looks like after all this changes. Hopefully I didn't break it in the process, but come on, Farmson. There we go. Yeah, hopefully I did not break it. I did go in and I removed a bunch of stuff and it like completely broke it, so I had to go back to a saved, a good version of it. And yeah. All right, new slot. Knots of isolation. Continue. And another thing I need to add too is I need to add sounds back into the map, like ambient sounds. For some reason, when I got converted, the sounds in it convert that well. So, load this up real quick, and I'll let you guys see all the changes. And then, yeah, that'll probably be it, because it's getting kind of late. Well, not really, but I'm been sitting here for a while, and anyways. Okay, the stream's a little laggy, but it does not look bad. I gotta go through and get grass growing out of the concrete. Just in that one spot too. Yeah, so there's like no walking sound. There's no sound whatsoever. Kind of creepy, but yeah, I will fix that. All right, let's see here. Actually, no, I want knock that one. Sure. Let's get for this one. And then need a buncher head. And we're not sinking into the ground, which is good. Ground seems to be reacting fine. I don't know why it's so laggy. I'm watching it on my stream on YouTube here. Did I forget to put grass in? Yeah, I kind of like this. So like there is a road there, but it's covered with grass, like it grew over time, which is good. That's what I was going for. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. Oh, my farm. All right, buying the land. Bought everything. Yeah, and you can't even really tell the Can't really tell that underneath is like a forest texture. I mean, in the distance you can kind of see it, but it's not too bad. Trees are active normal. To teleport this to a random spot. Yes, on the original, I did have a road system that you can kind of sort of follow. Okay, where am I? Okay. Just gonna teleport to different sections of the map, make sure it looks good. Trees are working good. Let's go over to this side. Yeah, so originally there was a road, but I think it doesn't even show this lake. Might be something I need to go in and fix sooner or later. Trying to see. Yeah, that one lake doesn't even show on the map. Which, I mean, if you really want to be technical, it is kind of fitting. I mean, it's not right, and it should be updated, but technically speaking, keeping with the theme of, you know, the kind of forgotten whatever, you know, this mini map would be like an outdated version. So like, you know, you're looking at this like, oh, okay, there's the roads are there, but once you actually play on the map, you'll see that the road's not actually there. And, you know, I guess it's more or less kind of like an outdated ordeal. Same with this body of water here. It's not on the map, but it's definitely on, or not on the mini map, but it's definitely on the map. So it's kind of like a little hidden Easter egg, I guess. It's a deep lake. It actually looks pretty cool. Settings. Let's go ahead and crank the time up here. See how the sun rotates. Make sure we have our shadows right. Which, if they're not, I have no clue how to fix those. Trees are working. I was gonna say all the trees should still be alright. I did not make any changes to those. And it looks like they converted over perfectly fine. These pines, I know when you cut them, like the bottom 2 or 3 feet, it doesn't have collision. Those are working fine. Oops. I'm gonna go into flight mode here. As the sun's setting. Okay, sun is in the sky. Just do a real quick flyby, make sure there's nothing abnormal. Minus those few little areas that are kind of rough. Okay, lighting is working. The light's still shining on the flag. To the Google Drive, so if you are a Patreon member and you would like to get this map, then it will be in the Google Drive. And wait, what? Those trees. What is it? Hold on, I gotta update this a little bit. Those trees are working.